Feels great, baby. The kick is up, and it is good! The 50!
Continue to stand with the people that are being oppressed.
What are they getting?
No, they're going to get everything I got. I promise you that.
Looking, throwing in the end zone.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 49365 post-game show on Frontline Media Sports. You already know what it is. My name is Biamechi. As always, I'm with JB.
What's poppin', B? What's poppin', Faithful? Victory Monday. It's intense. It's I'm excited, man. You got me tickets to the Rams game, bro. Like this the most lit game ever. So, this weekend, LA, we to the most lit game ever. I kind of got mixed emotions because, on one end, I'm excited. It's gonna be a big game, but it's on the other hand, I'm like, are you serious? There's really 50. It's like a 50% chance we gonna get in or we not. And so, that's
We're in the playoffs now.
Yeah, man.
We're in the playoffs now, so that's what it is. Y'all need to leave y'all emoji comments of what y'all feeling is for this Victory Monday. It should be something good. I'm expecting some fire emojis, some flames, maybe 5, 6, 7 of those joints, something like that. Let us know, tap in with us on the comments, and you can follow us at 49x365. Once again, this is the post-game show. We're doing it on Victory Monday. Had a little bit of the scheduling issues really the past 2 weeks, but it's a good time for us. Definitely wanted to bring in the new year right, like the 49ers did. Happy New Year to everybody out there. What a way to open off the season, or open off the year, I should say. The Texans coming into this game, not a team that you would say are world beaters, but at the same time, they just came off beating the Chargers. If you look at their stats, they had some turnovers in the past game, which we ended up seeing. They weren't a team that we could just easily sleep on, especially as we're gearing up to get ready for this postseason push. And as JB just outlined it, we could get in, we could not get in, but we're making this push. And of course, the biggest news, the biggest topic is the whole quarterback situation. Jimmy G, his health, Trey Lance taking his first home opening start of his career, first time starting in front of the fans, in front of the faithful. And, it was a mixed bag, but I guess like my opening statement on this game really comes off to, let's start the future now. I've been one of the people imploring the team, just hoping and praying and wishing that we would just start the next chapter of this team and this franchise and bring the future now and play Trey Lance. And we were in a situation at the end of the year where we're forced to do that because of injury, right? And we were forced to do that earlier in the year because of injury, not because we wanted to play Trey, not because we wanted to get him those reps and things like that. And we'll never know if those, playing scout team, backing up and learning the ways of the game from Jimmy, and, Trey is always talking about how great of a teammate Jimmy is. We'll never know if that's going to really improve a rookie quarterback's development. You can look at people who it's been successful for. You can look at people who it hasn't been successful for, right? You can look at people who've gotten early in their careers and have been killing from the jump. You can look at people who you can say that maybe it destroyed their careers, right? And we're seeing that a little bit if we look around the NFL right now. So you'll never be able to say, like, I was right, regardless of what happens. But to me, I think that you look at Trey's performance. Yeah, he had the interception. Yeah, he had the play at the end of this first half that could have been intercepted. But we see some of those same mistakes in terms of turnovers, potential turnovers from Jimmy. The games were different. We're going to break it down, how it was, with a Trey Lance-led offense versus a Jimmy G-led offense. But again, my biggest statement, my biggest opening, takeaway from that game is that let's start the era now. And I'm glad that whether it's due to injury or whether it's due to, him taking the job, I'm glad that we're able to see glimpses of what this can be, what he can be. It's just exciting, man. There's already excitement, like you outlined, to the end of the season, get into this playoff push. But there's extra excitement now that Trey Lance is at the helm. So, JB, what was your kind of initial opening statement, your thoughts on the game from yesterday, your biggest takeaways, all that good stuff, man? I'm going to give the mic to you.
Man, I just think that, at the beginning of the game, the offense, it started off slow. it didn't seem like it was clicking in. And I think I told you we FaceTime, but just what kept coming to me is just like, okay, we in week 17, I think it is. We in week 17. Um, and then we're making a playoff push. And I kind of got worried because I'm just like, it just seems like, you to get to this point, everybody is well, people have injuries, but you would like your offense or your defense to be, to start clicking. Like, you're not week 1 is different than week 17. And it just seemed like, with Trey there, it just seemed like, running Shanahan's offense, Shanahan probably got a lot of small little details, to execute it this way and, step this way and step this way and, all those type of small details that we probably don't know about. And it just felt like, damn, I'm just like, damn, like is, I know he got the talent, but are we, are we, are we going to be rolling like we need to be rolling at this time of the year? Like, because essentially, I'm like, this dude is like, is this still like? I was kind of looking at it like, damn, this kind of like preseason still.
Yeah.
Like, he still got to figure out, get his rhythm. Shanahan got to get his rhythm with Trey Lance. But Shanahan don't even, Shanahan doesn't like, he don't know Trey in terms of calling game plans for him. Practice is one thing, but when them live bullets is fine. So that's kind of where I was at, especially at the beginning and how we were looking slow. And that's what at the beginning of the game, I ain't gonna lie, I was like, damn, like this is why we play Jimmy, because Jimmy, even though he does the dumb shit, the picks over the middle, but Jimmy you just feel comfortable like, all right, he gonna be able to run the offense. Well, he gonna be able to run the offense, and people could argue he don't know how to read defenses, but I think he knows how to read defenses pretty. Like he's seen the defenses, he's blitzing and all that coming. He's not perfect, but so that's what I was thinking at the beginning. But I was glad that Trey Lance, he recovered from that pick, and then he had a good game, and we won the game. And so it was you can't complain. It's just, I don't know, man.
I don't know about not being able to complain, because if you look at 49ers Twitter, it's always something to complain about, man. But I did want to kind of go off your point about this being a preseason game essentially for Trey. I do feel like, when you look at like Ambry Thomas, for example, right? He's getting his first action now, so it's not like, these last 3 weeks you saw, and we'll get to him, we'll break down him, but you see improvement, right? From week to week, you see, better positioning, you see making plays. The transition, obviously, from today's game is making those good plays and the great plays, making that pick, actually making that play to the point where it's not just turnover on downs, but it's, 6 points the other way. So those things you hope to see as players get more comfortable. And like you said, it's not just Trey, it's Shanahan. And it's not just Shanahan, it's the whole team. It's like a preseason for the whole team, because they have to learn, what they're doing. I'm actually going to play some of the highlights as we continue this breakdown of Trey and just the game, so that y'all can see what we were experiencing once again. But, it's like, I think when you look at like the whole team and Trey, it's like a rhythm, right? We had such a good rhythm before the Tennessee Titans game. We were kind of getting back into the flow of games. Yeah, we had, the hiccup with the Seahawks game, but the Seahawks just have our number. I feel like you throw that one out the window. Yeah, there were some plays against the Bengals. It wasn't just ideal and perfect, but you felt like we were getting into a flow of the season, right? Like we were kind of like getting that momentum and moving. And then the Tennessee Titans game, it just felt like it killed everything. It just felt like it completely put a halt to that. And not only that, but with Jimmy getting hurt, say what you want to say, but like you said, we had a flow of it. And, it did get halted when we played the Titans, but Jimmy was still, that's our starting quarterback. We had ups and we had downs. You already know what to expect. You know how we play. We have a familiarity with what we're going to do and what we're going to be. Identity, which is one of the most crucial things coming into the you talking about that hit. Yeah, man. He was getting rocked. He was getting rocked for sure. Trey was getting rocked, but I just wanted to mention, like, we talk about the differences with Trey coming in versus Jimmy. right? And the first thing that people talk about is like Jimmy has that quick release, and you see that when you're watching the game, you're seeing it like, oh, like Trey, it seems like he's holding on to the ball a little bit longer. But then the flip side of that is Trey's able to make more plays. He's able to evade pressure, and maybe there's certain scenarios where Jimmy's going to take that sack there. That's going to be a 5-6 yard loss, and Trey's able to evade it, maybe throw it out of bounds, and maybe you get an incompletion, but it's not going to be a 5-6 yards loss. Maybe he's able to get 3, 4, 5 yards, running the ball, if not a bigger gain, right? So it's like you're taking those plays that could be negatives and into positives, and then at the highest peak, maybe he's able to make a highlight throw and zip it in there, because that's another difference you see. He clearly, I mean, we already knew this coming in. This is part of the reason why we, drafted a weapon that can, turn our offense into something more dynamic, potentially with, explosive plays, as Shanahan would say, those down the field plays. But Trey has that arm. It's definitely like when you look at like even across the field going against Davis Mills, you can see that Trey Lance has a first round arm. Like, say what you want to say about it, but he has a first round arm. I'm not saying it's Josh Allen, but he has a first round arm in terms of being able to get the ball downfield. So those are the things I feel like you see. And the last thing I wanted to say about the difference between, Trey versus Jimmy, it's the rookie mistakes, right? We talk about, you talk about the mastering of the offense and all the little details that we don't even see. There's that we can't see, but there's also the rookie mistakes of, like the throw that Trey Lance made to George Kittle where, it got picked off. Okay, he talked about it after the game, and that actually was another difference. It was very refreshing here in his post-game presser. A lot of people talking about how Trey has the, I need to be better mentality versus Jimmy is always talking about we. I'm not even, that's like semantics. To me, like, it's interesting that Trey, I feel like, gives you a little bit more insight into what was actually happening during the specific plays and in the game. Like, I feel like he was actually giving responses of, this is what I was seeing.
He said it was cover 2. And it wasn't. He said it wasn't where I was supposed to go, but with a good throw, I think he said, it would nobody would have been saying anything. So
exactly, and I just feel like that's like I just appreciate having that little bit. Does it mean he's better than Jimmy G? No, but it's like something to me where I always kind of question with Jimmy G his football IQ, which I think is fair, just in terms of if you don't see anything. If you're seeing stupid mistakes consistently, like he's consistently inconsistent, and then on top of that, you're not even getting anything from the post-game pressers in terms of break. So I don't know what his like. You look at some other quarterbacks and some other guys, you just get the sense that okay, they really have a mastery of this. You don't get that with Jimmy. So, and I'm not saying Trey Lance has a mastery, but he's at least explaining to him, breaking down what he's seeing, and kind of like
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure that Jimmy could like knows what coverage.
I know, but the point I'm making,
like, I'm sure he could have.
I mean, but the point I'm making is he doesn't give you any.
He might not say it though. He might not articulate it for the fans.
He's going to talk about how he's confident out there. He's confident out there, right? That's what he's going to talk about. He's confident out there. What makes you confident? And then you haven't even thrown. And then it was so weird to me that Kyle Shanahan was asked like, "Oh, did you see Jimmy throw before the game, or did you have him throw?" He was like, "I didn't ask him." You didn't ask him?
Bro, it's coping mechanisms. Everybody cope differently. You feel me? Like, that's the way Jimmy G, man. That's Jimmy G gonna smile it off. He gonna, I'm confident. Maybe that's maybe his coping mechanism to show on the outside like nothing's wrong, but on the inside he's crying, pain.
Crying. Okay, that's we taking it real deep on that. But yeah, man, that was just kind of like my thoughts about the difference between Jimmy and Trey. And then when you really look at like the takeaways from Trey, because let's break it into Trey Lance. Let's really talk about it, right? So first off, it's his first win of his career. Like, big tip of the milestone. Like, you got to like it. To me, I thought it was going to be a 19 pass attempt, run heavy. He threw a lot more than I thought he would throw, and I feel like Kyle Shanahan opened it up a lot more than I thought he would. Honestly, like, even when you look at specific scenarios, like the end of the first half and being able to call those timeouts and have less than a minute to go and still try to dial it up for him to move the ball down the field. And it almost cost him when there was 7 seconds left with that pick, because I feel like that was a little bit of a play call thing too. Trey's got to avoid that potential interception, but that's still a little bit of a play call thing too. I thought we should have instantly went for the field goal, but anyways, we came away with 3, so it was all good. But when you look at it, like, Trey got his first one of the season, and coming into the game, that's what I was thinking: get the win. That's all that matters. Like, we can talk about how things look and accuracy, whatever, but like, did you get the win? He got the win. So that's like the first thing. The next thing is the Arizona Cardinal game, not even the Cardinal game, the Seahawks game where he came in relief of Jimmy G earlier in the season, the first game against the Seahawks. If you remember that George Kittle pass that was super errant, and Trey was making the comment, if I throw the ball like that again, you need to kick the ball back to me going back into the huddle because it's unacceptable, right? That's the type of throws that he was making, not really having the game plan prep for him and just coming in cold. That's what we saw. A lot of erratic throws. We saw some of that in preseason too. Just a lot of very inaccurate, balls. We didn't see that in this game. It wasn't like that in this game, in my opinion. Like, we didn't really see anything that was glaringly just like, okay, like, can he be accurate? You saw the numbers. I think it was 16 to 23, something like that. The numbers are the numbers, but that is a plus for me. Like, that's something that I saw improvement on. And again, this isn't just like, oh, he played early in the year and now he's later in the year, so he's going to be a perfect model of what he is. No, like you said, this is preseason again for him. He's got to get that flow and that rhythm again. And he still came in 16 for 23. So I feel like I was impressed to see the accuracy sort of improve.
Yeah, the accuracy I think was definitely improved. Like, I think he was making intentional effort to throw the ball with a little more touch, like with them plays with Hughes check out in the flat. Like, I damn near think he was just trying to throw too much touch, where it kind of
Yeah,
like it was like one of the first passes he threw.
overcompensate. Yeah.
And then the one with Elijah Mitchell, when the touchdown, like, it was just like, I'm gonna really float this in there. So we saw the touch. One thing that I'm it's just like, I don't want to be the Debbie Downer, but
Be it, man. It's all good. Be that.
no, he just don't seem as dynamic in the run as, I don't know, like, we kind of he was kind of hyped up to be, throughout the process, and the draft process. Like, he don't. I mean, he's definitely more mobile than Jimmy, of course, and he's mobile, but he don't seem like he's faster than the other defensive players on the field. Like, I don't really see that.
Well, I would say to that point, would you agree that at least when he does, he's able to, number one, elude pressure? That's the first thing. Like, he's able to elude it a little bit. He may not be like Russell Wilson back there, but he's able to elude pressure better than a statue quarterback like Jimmy, right? Like, he's able to. You saw a few times where he's able to do that. And then number two, like, he's able to extend plays and still look downfield. It's not like he's like just instantly looking to run. He's looking to pass. Like, I'm looking at him as like a passer. I hear what you're saying in terms of like the dynamic of the run game. And maybe that's something he still has to learn and fill out and figure out as he, progresses in his career. Like, I think it's kind of hard to know what you really can and can't do. Maybe he's learning that, it's just getting that rookie experience. This is what it's all about for all these rookies, right? I think you can say similar things about Justin Fields, like in his first few games to a certain extent. You know what I mean? And then you saw some dynamic
you
plays
remember that Justin Fields
against us. Yes, I know. Yeah, I know, but that was what, his third start. I don't know what it was at that point, but I just feel like you give him a little bit of time. We'll see what he can do, but at the very least, he's able to play that quarterback position, extend plays, and keep his eyes downfield, which is what I'm most impressed to see. So I gotta give him, props on that at least. JB, I don't know if if you saw anything in this comment section. There's a lot of comments coming in.
It's going down.
It's going down right now. It's 100 views in there. Make sure y'all hit that super chat if you definitely want to be seen. But I'm gonna get through these comments in a little bit. First, I want to get to the game balls, and we can get to some of the comments, some of what I saw on Twitter, some of the highlights there. Game balls, number one, you got to give it to Trey. First win. That's just off top. Like home game opener for him. First win. That's big. That's a big moment in 49ers history. And as we look at our future, like I said, I want to start the future now. Let's get this train rolling. We'll see if Jimmy could come back, but that's big for him to get that momentum. Elijah Mitchell, I believe he passed the record for the most rushing yards by a rookie in 49ers history.
And
so you got
he missed hella games if you think about it, because he
missed a lot of
games. Missed 3 this, and then he missed some in the beginning of the season. Like, that's crazy, bro.
That's crazy.
He's raw, but it's like, man, can you stay healthy? like, can you stay healthy? Because Shanahan, he gonna run you into To the ground.
Ground. Absolutely. Let me get this comment real quick before we give out the rest of the game, boys. He made some mistakes, true, talking about Trey, but he came back strong. That's all I need to see. It doesn't make sense to send him back to the bench. Shanahan should stop overthinking and let him play. I think
let's talk about that. Let's talk about
Yeah.
that going into next week, bro. Like I understand a lot of fans like let's play Trey, and obviously if Jimmy's hurt, like where he's really hurt, then it's Trey for sure. But
Right.
it's like if Jimmy's able to throw the ball again, and who do you go with? I think it's like who do you go with? Because we know that the team. I just feel like the team. Not to say, I just feel like all right. How's the difference in terms of like what can you do with Trey? What can you do with Jimmy? What can't you do with either? Like, what's the balance? Like, we don't know. I don't know what Shanahan's thinking, like what, how he really views his offense and what you could do. Like, we see like I said, we see the dumb shit that Jimmy does, and it does upset fans. But, like I said, if you look at Jimmy's interceptions, it's not that bad in terms of comparison to the rest of the league. Like, I don't know where he ranks in terms of interceptions, but it's not like he's just a turnover king. So it's an interest because this is for the chips, man. And like if you're on the side of like let's just develop trade, and that's one thing, but I don't think that Shanahan is on that like let's just develop him. I think it's we're trying to win. You feel me?
But JB, the other thing is when you talk about we're trying to win, even if you're on, let's say like you're the biggest Jimmy stan, you're on the Jimmiest of Jimmy stans, right? Like I don't know what that's supposed to mean, but you know what I'm talking about, right? So the thing is, we've seen whether it's the Miami game last year, whether it's the Tennessee Titans game, if you want to say that this year, the Colts game this year, we've seen how Jimmy plays when he's injured. Okay, it's not good. It's not good. And
okay, the Titans game, he was playing bad before the injury. So.
And then after the injury, he was playing even worse. So
he did have a 95-yard drive at the end of
he's erratic at the very least. My point is this.
Right,
he got hurt earlier in the season against the Seahawks, allegedly, right? When you look at that game and how he came back against the Colts, we were thinking that, okay, like conditions were crazy. You got to give that caveat for sure. But he didn't play well in that game when he came back, right? To me, if you rush him back, you're the presumption with the first thing that you said is like, okay, we know injuries or anything like that. But if everything is, all things considered, if he's able to come back, you can't make it. I know it's like for the sake of argument, for the sake of conversation, trying to compare apples to apples and see what we would do in that scenario. But that's a big factor. Like the injury, we know he's not going to be 100%. He hasn't even thrown the ball. Like he's not going to be 100%, right? This is an injury
but nobody's 100%.
Well, I know nobody's 100%, but we're talking about Jimmy. Jimmy not being 100%. I guess the point I'm making is Jimmy not being 100% is different from Aaron Rodgers dealing with his foot injury, and not Aaron Rodgers is a bad example, but other players can play through injury. Jimmy has been a fragile player throughout his career. That's just the facts. Like it sounds harsh, but it's true. He hasn't been, if he's had a nagging injury, he hasn't been at his best. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I just feel like that's a big factor. So even if he's able to, thug it out, make it happen, I just don't see it being a situation where, like, why put that energy out there? We had another comment. I feel like Kyle has to be forced to make a change. Remember how long it took him to actually make Mostert the starting running back. I don't. It's a little bit of apples to oranges.
But I just feel like Shanahan has been on record. Just really like, he's riding with Jimmy this year. So it's kind of like, how is that going to play out? Like you know what I'm saying? Like, was the performance by Trey yesterday good enough to sit Jimmy, who he's been starting the whole year? Was that performance good enough for him to bench Jimmy the last game of the year where you're playing against the division rival, you're playing against Aaron Donald, Jalen Ramsey, the Rams. Who is he going to be more comfortable with all the chips on the line? Is he going to be more comfortable with Jimmy G, who's coming off this thumb, or with the young 21-year-old Trey Lance, who's had 2 starts in the past like 5 years. I'm being,
Right.
being sarcastic, but the point is, who is he gonna have more trust in? And he's already, like I said, he's already kind of made his stance this year that he's gonna ride with Jimmy.
That's real. I wanted to wrap up the conversation before we get to Twitter and some of the other comments about game balls. I feel like the offensive line, I gotta bring it up again. I just feel like, they're keeping Trey safe for the most part in his first start. The offensive line played solid. I know again it was the Texans, and you can, make your jokes and stuff, but they're an NFL team, and they've shown what they could do in the past few weeks with how they've been playing. And we were the ones who kind of like, cut off a lot of that momentum. And I think every game is its own story. Like you can be a bad team coming into a game versus a good team, or a team that's supposed to win, where the odds in Vegas are at 7+ point favorites, right? Versus a team that's a big underdog. But every game takes on its own identity, and it's only a few plays. When you look at that first half, like, the Texans are up, at the end of the first half, we may or may not get that field goal. Like the game is in the balance, and it wasn't until we made the right plays and did what we needed to do to kind of create that separation. But it wasn't like, oh, this is a trash team. At the beginning of the game, it was very competitive. So I definitely want to point that out when talking about the fact that we played the Texans. But shout out to the offensive line. Ambry, just for his development. I think we talked about Trey a lot, being a preseason for him. Ambry, it was like basically the preseason the last 3 weeks for him. And now it feels like he just looks more comfortable out there. I feel like, Davis Mills was kind of going to he was going to Ambry early, but then he started going to the other corners that we had because Ambry was, he was doing a solid job, it seemed like, out there. We had to look at the all 22, really break it down, but definitely had that good play that could have been a great play.
How you feel about your boy? How you feel about your boy Norm?
Again, I feel the same about him, man. He's I'm never gonna really knock on Josh Norman like that. I feel like the pass interference was, whatever. You can call it, you can not call it, whatever. I don't feel like it was really that egregious of a penalty, but clearly, they took him out, and
I'm saying for the future, and not for the immediate future.
Well, we hopefully we'll have Mosley coming back, so it'll be interesting to see what we do there. Are we going to go Mosley, Ambry? Are we going to go?
That's what I think we should do.
Yeah, I mean it's interesting to see. I think we should go with a hot hand for that. Mosley, if he's healthy, play him regardless. But that number, I feel like just rotate guys. It's like,
right, you know what I think is up with Norman, bro. Like honestly, like he's like 33 years old. I just think he's too slow. I just feel like he's savvy and all that type of stuff. But he's just too slow out there.
I agree. And when you look at the receivers in the NFC, I mean, these aren't slow guys. So it's something to consider. I think that's a good point that you make. Let's see what else we got here in the comment section. You know what? I actually wanted to kind of go back to Twitter and some of the highlights from what I saw on the Twitterverse, after the game and whatnot. And the first thing I wanted to do, man, we got to give a shout out to Tracks a Million, man. R.I.P. Did you hear about that?
Man, yep, I did.
R.I.P. Tracks a Million. And if you were faithful, I know back in the Harbaugh era, I want to say, what is this, 2010? Yeah, back in the Harbaugh era, they was really rocking with that SF anthem song. That was one of the songs of that era. You know what I mean? And I remember San Quinn and everybody in the video rocking the Niner gear and going through all the little places in San Francisco and whatnot. Like specifically about the Niners. And for those of y'all who don't know, Tracks a Million, Bay Area producer, was really instrumental in the hyphy movement, made a lot of the dope beats of the songs that we used to listen to in that era. I just wanted to, tip our cap. John Madden, Tracks a Million, RIP, as we come into this new year. Got to pay our respects, man. The SF anthem song, that was a banger. The sideshow song, that was really like the number one, you feel me, banger during that I can remember from Tracks a Million during that whole era. So definitely wanted to just pay respects to Tracks a Million one time. We just going around the NFL real quick, man. The AB story. I don't know if you had any.
Hey, man, they made it sound a little better. Like
that he was hurt.
What happened today? Here in the morning, like they essentially what I heard was that AB said he was hurt. He couldn't go in the game. Mm-hmm. And then they said go in the game. And then he said, I'm not going in the game when he hurt. And then apparently they cut him on the sideline. They said, okay, you're not on the team no more.
Right. they cut him on the sideline. Like, why would they? I don't understand. Like, I just feel like that's, I don't know. But if that's the case, if that's really what happened, I don't really believe that story all the way. Because if that's really what happened, like, why did he have that outburst with Mike Evans there? Like, why?
I mean, Mike Evans probably, just, I mean, like, he probably just trying to get him to calm down. You feel me? Mike Evans probably, like, he seen probably what AB was going. He like, bro, probably calm down. Maybe, maybe it could have been salvaged, but yeah, that was crazy, man. The AB know how to make go viral.
Did you see that he had a song that he released last night?
Did you listen to it?
I listened to it. Yeah, it was called like it was something that reminded me of the Steelers. It was like from the pits to the pen or something like that. I forget what it was. Basically like, from the gutter to the top. Just AB funny, man. I ain't gonna lie. I downloaded a few of the songs on my Apple Music. That's great marketing right there. So
yeah, like at least we talking about him, so I'm sure that helps his brand. But I mean,
you said he should be a celebrity boxer. We keep talking about this boxing. We keep talking about this boxing, man.
Yeah, I really think that he knows how to go viral. That's what it's about, getting attention, and he knows how to get attention. Bad, let Mayweather say, you talk good about me, talk bad about me, as long as you talking about me, and everybody talking about Antonio Brown. So, I think that might as well get in the ring, collect some M's, and I don't know how sustainable that'll be, but see what it do.
We'll see what it do, huh? Next one I wanted to get to is let's break down some of these stats from the stat guys from Trey Lance's performance, because it was like a cool start, like solid for sure. Like he did his thing, got the win. There's a lot of plays that got called back that he actually did well on the touchdown run. I was liking the celebration, bro, just like kind of throwing the ball to the ground. It's kind of reminiscent of that Cap. Remember the original Cap against the Packers where he just threw the ball and then hit the bicep arm. He kind of throw it down like that. If y'all know what I'm talking about, y'all remember.
Trey been doing that, bro. Trey been doing
that since college. No, I got it, but it's kind of similar to that Cap before the
bro, Trey got more swag than Cap, bro.
Ooh.
I'm being honest. Trey got more swag.
Trey seems more comfortable in who he
exactly.
Cap seemed like when he first came out, and we just shooting the shit. Y'all know what we talking about. We just vibing. But Cap just seemed like he was pressing a little bit hard when he first came out. Didn't know what to do. I don't know.
Bro, we see that Cap just. He's a lost like he
was going a lot of different directions, and you saw that
a lot of different directions. He's trying to fit in here, trying to fit in there.
Yeah,
I just feel like Trey got a little more swag.
He's super comfortable. He's super comfortable. He's super ready. If y'all can't tell, it's my Trey Lance impersonation. Just because he always, if you notice at his press conferences, right? Jimmy always does this. Jimmy's always going to do this. Guys are battling their ass off. Jimmy's going to give you shit like that. Trey's going to give you super. Notice every time he says super, you should take a shot. That's the next game y'all should play. Every time he says super, take a shot. That boy says super all the time. Superman. But yeah, we had Trey Lance's average depth of target of 12 yards yesterday, was the highest of any 49er starting QB since Garoppolo's win over the Texans in 2017. It's his second start for San Francisco. I ain't gonna lie, stats are stats, whatever. That's a crazy stat. If you really think about it, that's a crazy stat. If you really think about it, like that's saying that this is in terms of the 49ers QB play compared to Jimmy, right? This would have been, if Jimmy had the same exact game, this would have been Jimmy's second, you know what I'm saying, average depth of target, highest ever for the Niners. That's a pretty crazy stat to me. I don't know if you had any thoughts on that, but that was
that he threw the average.
Yeah.
That's an
efficiency stat.
This is the only thing that I just want, like, going into next week versus the Rams. Like, how they be like, how we've heard it a few times about Trey. Like, okay, he was a little too amped up, a little, it was like even himself. Like, I was finally able to calm down.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how long is that gonna take next week? Or like, how is that
better competition and a better? I mean,
better competition, even more pressure on the road.
JB, we'll have to see game to game, but this is the post-game victory Monday. We talking about Monday.
Bro, talking about Sunday. Exactly. And this Monday, we know that, like, bro, this is it's kind of victory, but this is like we got something big right in the this is like this is the playoffs
Yeah,
right here,
I hear you on that. We in the playoff mode right now, and
like right now.
speaking of big, shout out to all the faithful tapping in the comment section. We definitely gonna get to some more comments a little bit later on after we go through some of these highlights on Twitter. We had 160 plus people in here, so that's big. We may have to do this 11:30 a.m. slot if this is where it's at, but we appreciate
Yeah,
y'all
bro.
faithful
Like if
rocking
you
us.
care, like I'll be wanting to get my sports fix in the morning too. You feel me? That's
Exactly. Well, 11:30. We got 12:30 now, so
yeah.
borderline
I
morning.
mean, afternoon more. I mean,
Yeah, no, I hear you. I hear you.
some people on the
I hear
East
you.
Coast,
And make sure y'all tap in with Croc for his morning show. I love those in the morning. You gotta tap in with Croc for that. And typically our slot. Well, we're gonna come on tomorrow at our slot 9 p.m. on Tuesdays, Cali time, of course. I'm talking about. But we also
somebody hold on. Tavares said, JB, this is the man's second game. I get it. That's what I'm saying. It is his second game, so that's what I'm saying. Like, how is that gonna go into next week?
JB's a little bit more, pessimistic.
Like,
I gotta see it. I'm a little bit
I ain't
more
saying
glass half full.
pessimistic. I'm just saying like we trying to win. Like we're trying to win. We're trying to get in the playoffs.
Well, he wasn't looking like
So,
Zach. He wasn't looking like Zach Wilson. Trevor Lawrence. Look at the stat we got up right here.
I'm not dissing Trey at all. I'm not dissing Trey at all. I'm just saying, like, can we win in this must-win crucial game? Is you with him at quarterback like that? This is a huge test. A lot of pressure. It's going to be his third game starting. So how's that going to go?
Look at the 2021 draft class, NFL passer rating and second career stat. Again, a little bit of a meaningless, stat. And also like when you factor in the amount of time that Trey's actually had to practice and those sort of things, if you want to count that, it's a little bit of apples and oranges. But for the sake of showing some things, Lawrence 37, Wilson 37, Fields 82, Jones 89, Mills 23, Lance 116. Shout out to your boy. We have the best quarterback in the draft, it looks like, just from this stat alone. So, hey, Hall of Fame, here we come. Let's get that 116 average every step of the way, every game he has in his career. This is the minimum, not the peak. What else we had? I think we had another one from the stat guys. I like this one from Rich Madrid. Lance had a higher EPA per play today than Jimmy's had all season. I mean, again, these are, you can say meaningless stat, but like that's gotta mean something. Like you keep looking at that EPA stat on Twitter. I know some of y'all just like pulling out your hair every time you see that. Like, what the hell is EPA? How is this calculated? Everybody wants to use it to show this side of how Jimmy's playing. Jimmy's had a solid season. Let's not get it mistaken. But they use these stats and things, and it's like, okay, well, Trey's had a higher EPA than Jimmy had all season. So what does that mean? Okay, so I just feel like, again, these are just food for thought.
What would Shanahan say? Shanahan would say
not perfect, by no means perfect.
No, he'll be like, he'll just, if they brought up that stat, he gonna break it down and be like, look, it's gonna be context. So like I said, I don't know what EPA means. I don't know what that really means. So, but I just feel like, stats are kind of hard to, gauge when you're looking at the real game. And,
this from Grant Coleman, George Kittle on Trey Lance. I thought he did a really good job for being a rookie quarterback. Like, damn, bro, you got to put on that little caveat at the end. He had the best EPA. He had a better EPA than Jimmy. He had a better average depth of target than Jimmy's had all season. Like, come on, man. Give him a little. Why? It's week 17. He's not a rookie anymore. He's not really a rookie anymore, is he? Like, come on, George.
For
like,
sure.
Damn. But the comment below, I love this from East Bay Chris, man. When asked for his response, Trey responded with, "George did okay for being an old guy that's already been handsomely paid." That's a good retort right there, man. East Bay Chris always coming with the humor.
He's comedy. He's
comedy, man. I wanted to get to this. I think Grant posted this, but this is some comments from some guys on the Texans. I wanted to show you.
I seen the Desmond King one, right? He was showing them love, right?
This is from Jordan Jenkins from the Texans. He said he's talking about Trey Lance. He's a fast guy. He's a little taller and heavier than I thought when we were taking him down, but he's not afraid to take a hit. He's not afraid to fight. I like how he said that, take a hit. Not like, give a hit or something, take a hit. He's not afraid to get smacked. That's basically what you meant. He's not afraid to fight for the extra effort. He had some good progress out there today. Let's see. We also had resiliency and not afraid or solid reviews. What else we had? Texans head coach. He played well enough for them to win today. He gave us a chance by giving us that one pick. The thing about him is that he's very mobile and keeps plays alive. He ended up making some throws outside of the pocket that kept some drives alive. He played well. I mean, I didn't really see the Desmond King one. Which one were you talking about?
I think it was talking about he was basically saying that he responded well after the pick and that he has a bright future ahead of him. So he's that's some solid praise.
Yeah, solid praise. You know what I'm saying? Like, gotta definitely. Let's see. What we have from Desmond King? He said. So Desmond King, just getting ourselves on the right track going into next year and just putting our best foot forward, yada yada yada. We want to still put a good film on tape. We want to still go out there and win, blah blah blah. Maybe this was before the game. I don't even know. No, this is during the game. I don't know. I didn't see the comment from Desmond King, but
yes, it's on there, bro.
All right, the last two I got from Twitter. We got Akash saying, "Here's the outcomes from 49ers, assuming Minnesota loses, which they did lose that game." So we win. We're most likely going to get that 6th seed. I did see some scenarios. I see like the outcome breakdown here, but I did see some scenarios where we could get the 7 seed.
Yeah, if we lose, but New Orleans lose. Too.
Right, exactly.
And Philly wins.
Exactly. So that would be number 7 seed here. Got it. So there's a lot of different scenarios here. Basically, we win, we're in. That's the main thing you got to keep in mind. But in terms of like
New Orleans wins and we lose, we're out. That's
right.
Pretty
but if you try to project like in all the different scenarios who are playing, I thought that I even tweeted and deleted instantly yesterday. I thought that like basically we were locked in for the most part to play Tampa Bay. We can play anybody still. There's a lot of, there's more probability for other scenarios than others, but we could play Dallas, we could play Tampa Bay, we could play the Rams again. Like there's a scenario in which we play the Rams twice in a row, which the ideal scenario, if we do, I don't want to put that energy out there, but if we do end up losing to the Rams, but the Saints end up losing as well, I would love to play the Rams again. I would love to have back-to-back games against the Rams in LA. The tickets for that would be crazy, but it'd be another home game. That's where the Super Bowl is going to be. There's so many reasons why you want to do it, but a division foe, they know us. I would love that scenario if we end up losing, where we get the chance right back at them to go at them again. So basically, with the playoffs, man, we just got to win. Obviously, we're all Atlanta Falcons fans this week as well.
Man, they got what's his name? Hurt.
Who?
Kyle Pitts. He hurt his hamstring.
Well, their Pro Bowl tight end, I guess he's out. Matt Ryan, Matty Ice. The division games get crazy. So they're, the Panthers. You would think that the Saints, with the way their defense has been playing, that'd be a win they should be able to easily get. They got it by 8 points, but division games can get crazy, as we know. So just because the Falcons haven't had a great season, I don't think that means that that they have no chance against the Saints. They definitely have a chance, especially with Taysom Hill starting. We'll have to see if he can be consistent. The last tweet I had is from Crop. The 49ers Rams game finna cost an arm and a leg, huh? Who got tickets for your boy? I just had to put that out there because we go into the game. I was juiced that it didn't get flexed. I'm kind of shocked that it didn't get flexed because looking at the games that did get flexed, I believe it was Denver, Kansas City, Pat Mahomes. I guess you want to put them on, but I don't feel like that game has that many.
The Chargers got flexed.
There's 3 games, right? Because there's 2 Saturday night games, okay. And there's one, and then there's the game that goes to Sunday night, right? Okay. So there's 3 games that got flexed. I'm not sure 100% which one was like, I think the Chargers one was the Sunday night one, but that was the Chargers, and I forget who they were playing. I think it's the Raiders. I think it's the Chargers Raiders is the Sunday night football game. And then the Saturday night games, they put the Bengals and Steelers, I want to say, which I believe is going to be Ben Roethlisberger's last game. So I get the energy with that. And then the other one, though, is the Chiefs and Broncos, which I just feel like no matter what, we're going to be playing for this game because we want to see if we can get into the playoffs and control our own destiny. The Rams, they still want to make sure that they can get a home game. So we're both incentivized to play in this game. We got, at the very worst case scenario, that's enough of a storyline where there's 2 playoff seeding implications. But at the very least, you have the whole Trey Lance versus Jimmy G thing. Like either Jimmy's playing or Trey's, like either way, that's going to be a story for people to talk about. So I was a little shocked that they didn't flex our game, but I'm very happy because it means that we're going to be able to go to Disneyland on Saturday, enjoy the day on Saturday. I'm sure it's going to be a lot of faithful out there.
You can't just say we about to go to Disneyland on Saturday, like without any
with the kids. The kids. It's really their first time in Disneyland, right?
Huh?
It's gonna be their first time at Disneyland, right?
They've been to Disneyland before.
They've been Disney. They've been in Disneyland too.
They haven't been to the one in LA. They've been to the one in Paris.
Oh yeah. Okay. That's a flex right there. That's a flex right there. They're gonna be like, oh, what's this LA? I'm trying to go back to Paris. What's this Mickey Mouse out here a little bit different? Like I want to see the foreign speaking Mickey. Like that's a flex right there. But no, we going to Disneyland with the kids. You know what I'm saying? We taking the kids to Disneyland, which is gonna be a lot of fun. I'm sure there's gonna be a lot of faithful out there. And then on Sunday, going to the game. Super excited about that. So
Bro, it's gonna be lit, man. It's gonna be one of the ones, bro. Like, man, just see where I'm coming from. You know, I know I get tagged as the pessimistic one, but every time we go to the game, bro, it's just we go to the game super hyped up. You know, I'm in my Trey Lance, super hyped up, and you know, I got PTSD. That's all I'm gonna say. I just got PTSD from, you know, the Seahawks Thursday, no, the Thanksgiving game we went to, and how big we made that game. Like this is gonna be, you know, this is the future. The future rides on this game, and then it was just like, damn, like, you know, when you be like, you know, things happen, you just don't even yell. You just see the picks, you see you know, you just be quiet. So, you know, I got PTSD. So hopefully, you know, I'm gonna go into that game. I ain't gonna lie, I'm gonna be juiced though. I'm definitely gonna be juiced,
man.
you know. But it's just like, what's about to happen, man? This is a real big game.
This is you know, the NFL is just it's the best TV, right? And it's better than other sports because there's only 17 games, you know, and so it just means so much. And now, like, literally it's in front of us and it means everything, right? Like it really means the stakes couldn't be higher. It is a playoff game. We're getting basically a free playoff game, right? In LA, which is going to be a home game, like that energy, like against the division rival. You know what I'm saying? Like the stakes are tremendously high and it makes for the best TV and a great live experience. Like regardless, it's going to be a good time and I'm definitely ready to tap in with the faithful. Let's get to some of these comments before we do the grades and sign out for this episode. We have Joe Montana. Was he good when he first came out? Steve Young, Garcia. They wasn't, but they got better. You should do this. Jimmy will not get any better. And once you figure him out, the whole team is stopped. Well, I would say to Joe Montana and Steve Young and all that, like this is a different era. I agree with your point because like we have such this view when we look at things in retrospect and we look at things in the rearview mirror when it comes to history, and especially when it's the greats. We just look at everything about their whole careers as great, and it's like, you know, there's so much great in it. Like how could you not? But you always bring up the catch play with Dwight Clark. You know, 3 interception game that game. Like, you know, just talking about how it wasn't just a smooth path. Michael Jordan talked about how losing is what helps you to get to that point where you win. It makes it mean everything. Like you got to go through the trials and tribulations, right? So we don't talk about that aspect enough. And also, when you look at it, this is a different era. Like rookies are coming in, they're being expected to play. The rules benefit the quarterbacks. Like it's a different era in a little bit too. So like I don't, you know, it's tough when you compare like eras and things like that. But I do see the point that is being made there. What else we got, man? The difference between Jimmy and Lance fanboys is Jimmy's fanboys want to want to bang Jimmy because that's all he's good for. That seemed, I don't know what direction he was saying that. That seemed a little
you gotta say pause.
Yeah, you gotta say, but it seemed a little
a little pause.
That seemed a little cause for pause on that one. Where Lance is actually good at damn, bro. It'd be hella funny when people be like all the way 180 on one side or the other. It's like, is there no gray area?
There's some who's really like Jimmy G, F Trey, and it's some like where it's like Jimmy G is like the worst person in the world. You know, I'm like, damn, like y'all really hate. Like, what's
I like this comment though, because we got both sides, man. I'm happy that Jimmy was able to get us here. Too bad Jimmy wasn't able to stay healthy and get us into a better position and be able to start the last Sunday and keep that going. But that's who Jimmy is. But yeah, appreciation. Jimmy helped us get to this point. Like, no matter what, however you break it down, this is truly a team effort, this whole team, like the whole season. We've had injuries. We've had different people step in. from the jump. Honestly, week 1, Verrett going down, and just kind of all the injuries from there, and the linebacker injuries, and everything that we've kind of gone through. But people have stepped in, and that's what football is, man. It's a full team effort. Usually the quarterback plays the whole season, but with Jimmy, that's typically not the case. And Trey's been able to come in. He's been 1-1 so far, and hopefully he can keep some momentum going and get some wins for us down the stretch. Going to be hard for Stafford and McVay to beat the 49ers in the 49ers house next week. Straight up. It's go ahead.
It is. I just didn't like Stafford. He has been throwing multiple. I mean, he throw pick sixes. I don't know what's the how many games in a row, but it's been games in a row where he's throwing pick sixes. And if that was Jimmy, people would be, calling for his head. But the way they ended that game, I was telling you, Odell Beckham made a play to win the game. Von Miller made a sack to win the game. It's just I just feel like they're gonna come into next week with I feel like they got a little bit of momentum the way they won that game in Baltimore versus Baltimore. It don't matter that Lamar Jackson not playing. Baltimore got that. They're a tough team. Kind of got that Titans vibe where it's not gonna be easy no matter who playing. And they it just the way they ended the game was kind of, it was kind of resilient vibes. So, they're going to definitely be coming in firing. But, and I'll be wondering, Shanahan has McVay's number, he does. But it's just how?
Well, division games are weird, and I don't know. But, think about the Seahawks. Think about the Seahawks, bro. How? Think about the Seahawks. Just in general, there's been plenty of times where we had a better team.
No, there hasn't been plenty of times. There has not been plenty of times.
Especially,
we made the playoff 1 year, bro, before this.
I mean, I feel like for the way that they've had our number, there's some unexplained things going on, I guess is the point I'm making. It's sometimes it's just, and when you look at the games and how. Yes, you can say, oh, they have Russell Wilson, they have this. You can break down, different things, but for them to have our number like they do, there's just a little bit of, division games. You can't really put your finger on it, but it is what it is. And that's how I look at. I'm not saying I'm definitely not okay with the Seahawks situation, but the only kind of solace is if we continue to beat the Rams all the time. And if that happens, it's again, it's not excusing it. But it's okay, at least
it's man, nothing is guaranteed. I
know.
This is the Rams. These dudes, it's 5-0. It's well, we gonna win. Damn.
Even the Seahawks fans will, a lot of Seahawks fans will say the same thing. At least the ones I know and stuff. They'll, they. It's not like they just look at the Niners oh, we're just gonna smash them. They're they come into these games oh shit, I don't know, but then they end up winning. And I'm hoping it's the same thing for us with the Rams. So. Real quick on this, comment about, the draft and trading up for a QB. That's an underlying story of this season is just that draft pick keeps going higher and higher. Right now, I think it's 22 or 23, something like that. We get into the playoffs, we win this game. Hopefully everything goes well. It's going to be a 23, 24, pick. And it's if that's the case, and if next year we can get into the playoffs and really we traded a 23 and a 24 and a third round pick that we got for Robert Saleh for trade to get up and trade up and get Trey Lance. You can argue if that was needed to even trade up. You can argue all these things, but if you want to be certain, get the guy. It just looks, you can't argue with this. It looks a lot better when you make the playoffs in 2 consecutive years after making that trade, right? Because that draft pick, how would you feel if that draft pick is number 10? If it's 11, if it's 8, it just makes everything worse. You know what I'm saying? So I just wanted to shout that out real quick. I can't wait till next year till all the Jimmy fanboys could go with them. Trey Lance is the future, period. It'll be interesting to see where Jimmy goes.
I will say one thing, though, bro, regarding Trey Lance.
Yeah.
And I don't want to speak too soon, but it just seems there's no way he could be a bust, right? Well, what we've seen, there's no way. There's no way he could be a bust.
And that's it's I was thinking about the other day, and this is thinking way ahead, right? But I was just thinking, I wonder what Trey Lance's next contract is going to be. I'm just wondering, you know what I'm saying? In terms of where he's going to, this is way ahead. But I'm just even if he's a quarterback that doesn't become top 5, top 10, but if he's in the top 15 range, clearly, if he's right in that 10 to 15 range consistently, like for sure. Guys who are in that range right now, you know, I mean, some would say Stafford's in that range, right? If he can be one of those guys, right, then at the very least, it's like, you know, depending on what the contract looks like and stuff, that could be a win. So, you know, I was thinking way ahead, but it doesn't look like he's a bust, which is a great thing. Trey-offs. I shout out to Chris Wall. We gotta coin that, man. Trey-offs. Let's make it happen. Let's make it happen.
Somebody need to make a shirt.
After reviewing Trey Lance against the Texans, he looks very promising, far better than the trash gym.
The problem is Kyle Scamahan.
These nicknames. Y'all gotta be better, man. Y'all gotta be better. I ain't gonna lie. Like Mike's son is a dope nickname. You know?
Hey,
Banana
damn,
Hands.
Scamahan?
Banana Hand from Grant is so out there, it's so outlandish, it's so ridiculous that it's a good nickname. But Scamaham, it just don't roll off the tongue as well. I ain't gonna knock you for being creative and putting something out there, but I just feel like if you gonna knock, you gotta do a little bit better, a little bit more creative. You know what I'm saying? So Vladimir Mialkov, yeah, let's up the meme game. What else we got, man? I don't know. We can get through, you know, the rest of these comments, but really, I wanted to just close out the show with talking really briefly. We can kind of run through it. Grades, we can just run through them. In the comment section, Faithful, tap in with us. We're going to go through all these sections, QB, running back, tight end, wide receiver, all that good stuff. Let us know what you think your grades are. You know, just give us a letter or give us some emojis. That's always good. Do the sliding scale on the fire emojis. It's always a good thing. Quarterback, Trey Lance. What would you give Trey Lance's grade in this game?
Trey Lance, I'm gonna give you let me give you a 82%.
Yeah, I was thinking like an 87. I'm gonna give him a B plus. I'm Maybe I'm putting the caveat on him. I feel like I would always knock Jimmy for like those potential interceptions that like he threw it to the defender, but the defender didn't catch it. I always knock Jimmy for those, even if they don't actually become interceptions. Trey Lance had a similar play, but I'm making excuses for him. Number one, he's a rookie, but like, you know, whatever. Number two, I feel like Shanahan's play call there. Again, the quarterback's got to be able to throw it away if it's not there. But I don't know. I'm kind of on the fence about that. But that one play is kind of what's tipping the scale from like, you know, an 84 or 82 if I graded it bad to like an 87. So I'm gonna give him a B plus. Let's talk about running backs. Elijah Mitchell getting that record. He had over 100 yards. I feel like Trey Lance helped in that respect in the run game a little bit. I do feel like it did help. And I don't want to consider Trey Lance a running back in this category, but I feel like he helped the run game overall. So talking about the run game overall, I will give it a B. I'll give it like an 86.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I'm impressed with Elijah Mitchell. The way he runs the ball, like the way, and it's like he missed them games, came off that knee, and still looking explosive, decisive. This is crazy though, because it's like damn, like Jeff Wilson gets no carries.
I don't understand. Like that's more so coaching, and we'll get to that. But I don't understand why he's so like. Don't you want a platoon like guys fresh and coming in and like I don't know. But that's Shanahan. That's how he wants to play it. Let's see. Wide receiver. All right, let's go to the tight end / wide receiver group. What would you give them?
I mean, I feel like Ayuk did cool. Debo got the touchdown. Kittle had like one catch. So tight ends really weren't in the passing game. You know, so I don't know. I wasn't watching how they were blocking. So I feel like tight ends, you can't really, you know, tight ends is kind of like what's the NA, you know, NA. Receivers, I feel like, you know, I don't think they made any bad plays. Like I don't think there was any drops really. I can't remember any drops in Brandon Ayuk had a cool game. You know, he gave us a play that I think it was third down when he got that, you know, catch over the middle and then, you know, got loose and ran all the way to the 30 or something. So I don't know. Receivers probably a B plus. Debo got the touchdown. I mean, even though we not, you know, B plus.
Yeah, I was seeing a stat. I'm trying to see what Ayuk's receiving yards are for the season because I was seeing a stat that he was close to getting 1,000, which I did not believe that had to be a typo. But maybe I'm wrong. It's just I'm pulling that up right now. But overall, yeah, I would give the receiving group. Let's see. Yeah, 719 yards. So I think there was a typo there. I believe Kittle is right. He's very shy of 1,000 yards, which he could eclipse. You know, this coming game. I would like to see more from the full. We got a little bit to use check, but I would like to see more again. I always bring up use check. I feel like he's not used enough. I feel like I would like to see a little bit more for use check. And I would like to see Kittle a little bit more involved. But overall, I got to give the squad a B. I don't want to say it was bad. You know, it was nothing bad, but it wasn't like super dynamic. Debo clearly with the big play, but it was, you know, wide open right there. Trey got it there, but and Ayuk made a dynamic play. So I'll give Ayuk, you know, credit. It would have been nice if he could. I would have gave him an A- if he would have made that touchdown catch though. That one-hander, that would have been nice.
Yeah, that would have been sick.
Make that. Defensive line, I'll give that group a B plus. Man, Arden Key really is, you know, becoming a player. I just want to see Bosa really hit a stride as we get.
I feel like I'm gonna give him a B minus, like C plus compared to their standard, because I just feel like
I feel you. I feel
like they wasn't really getting as much. I mean, you know, maybe like especially at the beginning of the game, they wasn't really generating as much pressure as, I don't know, you kind of expect them to, because, you know, they standard, like the D line is everything to our defense, especially with, you know, our Norman out there and, you know, young Ambry. You know, we need them to have success in the secondary. So I just feel like, you know, they definitely need to do better next week.
I hear you on that. Linebacking group, you know, Warner kind of looked like he gave up that touchdown a little bit, and but he had the career high in tackles. And he had a forced fumble. I just don't know how I feel about Fred Warner this year and right now. I don't know. I feel like it's good, it's solid, but it's just not dynamic. I gotta break down the film and really see. But
I mean, yeah, you know, because you know, we used to them linebackers, them P. Willis, them Navarro, and they weren't perfect either. They weren't perfect. Like, it wasn't like they wasn't giving up, you know, those type of touchdowns in the red zone. Like, you know, I'm sure that happened to them several times. But you know, this year's just been different for Fred, and you know, you just want to see him do some game breaking type activities out there, like just really make, you know, change the game. And he was having hella tackles, so you know, that's good. But I mean, yeah, I don't know, bro. I don't know if it's like, I don't know what it is, but it's just some going on this year. I feel like bro might be in his head too much or pressing too hard or something. I don't know.
He mentioned that himself. You know, like you just pulling that out of nowhere. Like he mentioned that himself. So, you know, you get that contract that could happen. Shout out to Chris Wall, just tagged us on Twitter. Make sure y'all follow us at 49x365 with basically a pass chart breakdown. You know, it's that's something I did notice earlier too. When you look at, you know, I don't know, it's a stark contrast, right? In terms of, and the stats prove that out. The ones I was showing earlier in terms of the depth of the throw, but not only that, it's like the sideline to sideline, everything from Jimmy is pretty much short and in the middle. And
bro, pull up what Chris Sims wrote. He said some stuff on
Twitter.
Yeah, about Trey Lance.
Do we follow Chris Sims?
I don't know, but I think
it was on Twitter.
Yep.
All right,
yep. It's the one he put 2 hours ago.
This one? All right.
Yeah.
Might sound counterintuitive, but Trey Lance's passing style is less risky than Jimmy Garoppolo's. Throws outside the numbers down the field where there are fewer defenders, while Jimmy's throw is over the middle where there's tons of traffic with small margin of error. Chris Sims hates Trey Lance, and I don't know.
He doesn't hate Trey Lance.
You see what he was saying pre-draft? He got to protect his narrative. You remember with all the wobbly out? He did something on it. It's just looking like an independent contractor. The way it's out here, you know.
No. He hated Fields. He hated Fields.
He hated Fields.
No, Trey Lance was kind of like,
Trey Lance has got to sit for, I don't know, 2-3 years. Based on what he was saying, does Trey Lance look like he needs to be sitting for like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he doesn't look like that.
I don't think, bro. He wasn't saying that he needs to sit for 2-3 years. He was saying he needs to play now because he can't.
He was saying,
he said he needed.
But he was very concerned about Trey and how raw he was. I don't know.
I mean, but I don't. He was concerned about Trey, which I feel like is fair because
he was very
fair.
concerned.
I feel like it was fair. I was concerned about Trey,
but I don't know that. You know, it just seems like Shanahan loves Jimmy. Chris Sims, I know he doesn't love Jimmy, you know, but he's just showing his perspective on this and how you would break that down. I think that's interesting because that's one way to look at it. But I think, to me, it doesn't preclude Trey Lance from throwing over the middle, short, and behind the line of scrimmage. Like, you can do all those things. To me, what it shows is that you can do more with Trey Lance. This is one sample size. I'm just saying what these charts show. That's to me what it shows. The point you're making about in the middle is accurate, but you don't need to do that 10, 20 times a game if other things are there. That's just all. And I would think as a defense too, if you're only doing, somebody said in the comment section, it's like teams who know us can key in on what Jimmy likes to do. And it's like, when you compare that to Trey Lance, number one, there's an unknown. Number two, if you're distributing the ball all over, you don't really know what to expect. It's hard to pick up tendencies and things like that. Number one, just because he's a rookie and you don't know, there's no film. But number two, because he's distributing the ball all over the place. So I feel like, to me, that's a positive for Trey Lance. And this point could still remain.
He's making a positive. He's saying that Trey Lance's style is less risky.
Oh, okay. I thought he was saying that. I was looking at it as if he was saying, like, yeah, that's true, but he's just doing the safe throws. Jimmy G's actually, what he's doing is much harder.
He's saying while Jimmy G throws over the middle where there's a lot of traffic.
Exactly. I think he's saying that, like, for Jimmy G to be able to get those balls in with his quick release and his knowledge of the game, that's really hard to do.
We know he throw the picks there, though. Like,
I know, but
he criticizes him. I feel like he's saying that, like, no, Trey being able to. Trey is really less risky, even though he's pushing the ball further down the field.
Huh. All right. Well,
so I feel like he's showing love to Trey, bro.
Okay. Well, it's interesting. Interesting point.
He's saying, like, Jimmy G, the veteran, is actually more risky, even though he throws the ball shorter. But because all these middle throws it's always linebackers there, it's easier to get picked off.
Yeah, I was trying to see if he responded to that with any further detail on that. Maybe I should tweet him myself, but appreciate y'all for tapping in with us on Twitter. Real quick, let's get to the rest of this man's secondary. You always like to break it up, so we're going to break it up because we should. Corners. How would you grade the corners in this game?
I'm grading Ambry as I feel like Ambry B, but with the way he's come on, he got to be a B plus, like more
in terms of the context.
There's a B with a lot of context behind that B. Like, he gave. Like, I feel like that one that was caught between him and Jaquaski was a deep ball, but he was there. But I just like the way he's playing. He's playing with a lot of he's kind of fiery out there. I like the way he was ripped his face mask. I mean his chin straps when he didn't catch it. Like, he just looking like, bro, I should have got that. Like,
I want to say about Ambry too, and I know you can rate everybody else too, but I want to say about Ambry, you mentioned earlier talking about Trey, like he doesn't look like a bust, and I feel like with Ambry, he looked like a bust to me. And we always had those caveats that it's early, he's a rookie, all those sort of things. Like, but we just keep it real and we just seeing what we see, talk about what we see, right? And we both kind of were on the same opinion. Like, he does not look like a good draft pick. He's early in the season, right? And I love being proven wrong when it comes to, like, sports and this Niner talk and everything. I love being proven wrong, right? Prove me wrong, right? And so I feel like, yes, he's not perfect, like Shanahan would say. But when you look at it and his progression and where he's at and how he looks right now, he doesn't look like just a bust. And I that's a huge positive for me. So shout out to Ambry. Keep it up. Let's see if you can take it to the next level.
Confidence definitely seems to be building. But the other side, Norman, I mean, he had that one. No, he had like two. Like I said, he just looks slow. Like every time a ball is, like, Norman just looks like he's not fast enough to close the gap with these receivers. And I know, like, I don't know. So Norman, I just feel like Norman, man, is, I don't know. I feel like and the fact that they benched him that quick, like over one PI call, I just feel like his time is, as a starter, like, you put Dante Johnson out there, like, when Norman was causing fumbles, it was like, okay, well, at least he's causing fumbles out there, but he hasn't been doing that lately. I don't know the last time he's gotten a punch out. So, Dante Johnson, he did cool. He had the PI, so I don't know. The other side is definitely shaky. Hopefully Mosley could return, and then him and Ambry, I think that would be the best match.
Yeah, I'm gonna give the secondary. I'm gonna give the corners a B. I feel like that's a really good grade for considering where them being the weekly corner team. So I'll give the secondary corners a B. talking about the safeties, it's really tough to evaluate them because they just are so solid. You know, it's like they don't get a lot of opportunities to make plays and whatnot because they're playing so solid. So it's really tough to evaluate them, especially until you see the all 22. But what would you kind of give the safeties as a grade?
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't really see too much from.
I'll give them a B plus because I feel like those games where they're not being tested a lot, but they're sound, they're making tackles, they're over. I feel like it's a B plus. I mean, you played safety, you know how it is out there. So I just feel like I'll give them a B plus. I think definitely a solid performance. With a rookie quarterback, maybe you kind of expect there to be a little bit more dynamic plays, making things happen, but still, nonetheless, I'll give them a B plus. In special teams, no fumbles.
They did good. They did good.
Yeah,
The
and
defense was good.
Ayuk had a solid one. Benjamin got one in, didn't fumble. I give him a B plus. B plus.
There we go. Yeah, I'm
B
with it.
plus. And lastly, coaching. Trey's first game, we saw the game plan with the Cardinals, and the play that John Lynch said Shanahan was drawing up on the plane from Justin Fields' pro day, which was a quarterback dive up the middle. This game we saw a little bit more. We saw a little bit. I was surprised that we passed as much as we did, and I was surprised that he opened up the playbook. It seemed like, but maybe he's just calling the same plays, and Trey Lance is just distributing it in different areas than Jimmy would. That could be a part of it too. But I would like to see a little bit more from the run game in terms of using other backs other than just pounding somebody to the ground, especially ahead of the Rams game. And I would like to see just more dynamic, just more different things with Trey Lance in there. But all in all, I'll give. And then Shanahan's end of first half clock management, I was surprised by. I agree with him being aggressive, but I disagreed with the 7 seconds to go. Throwing the ball to the sideline, trying to get one in before the half. I really thought we should have just kicked the field goal there. So all in all, it's a lot of things in there, jumbled in there. I'll give Shanahan's performance and the coaching staff overall a B plus.
I mean, yeah, I'm with it. B plus, B, solid B, a B, yeah, B plus. Win with a rookie quarterback. So, man, on to LA, man.
On to LA, that's going to wrap it up for the post-game show. We doing it on Victory Monday, a little bit different time, but we appreciate y'all rocking with us. It seemed like y'all was messing with it. I don't know if it was just because y'all were off on work for the Happy New Year or what it was, but we definitely had 170 plus people in here rocking strong. Appreciate all the comments, all the love. Y'all make sure y'all tap in with Crocker, Croc Talk TV. You already know what it is, man. And make sure y'all tap in with us at Frontline Sports Media. You already know what it is. Like I always say, my name is Bia Mechie, and as always, I'm with JB.
We out. Hey, faithful. Stand up, baby.
Stand up. And look, we going to be there in LA. So y'all need to tap in with us. You know what I'm saying? Hit us up on Twitter, etc. We're going to be at the game. We're going to figure out the situation, the vibes, what they are. But we already know what it is, man. LA week. It's a home game, a glorified home game. So let's make that happen. Appreciate y'all. Tap in.